Hello, welcome back. We're going to continue creating this monster, or whatever you want to call it. I'm still not sure what to call it after all this time. See, today we're going to be doing texturing, which will require... Sorry, just got a text message. Gosh, it's really hot in my house. My air conditioner's broken, so this kind of sucks, but... I thought I finished... Well, I fixed the rigging, I'm pretty sure. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. No, this isn't the fixed rig. This... Okay, that's strange. Well then. Let me just recover an autosave real quick. Yeah, that's okay. That's strange. I remember I fixed the rigging. I made it to where this left leg moved. What? You know what? That's not important today. Today we're going to be texturing it, and I was a bit hesitant to do this, which is why it might have taken a little while. One, because for some reason I'm really scared to talk to myself while my family's home, and two, I haven't really had any systems to get the special maps. I kind of searched around a little bit and couldn't find anything. So we're just going to do basic textures and UV unwrapping and all that. So I'm just going to hide that and do that by pressing H. And you want to go to edit mode. Wait a minute. I'm going to try recovering autosave again. It's really annoying to me. What? I guess I forgot to save or something, or maybe my computer bugged out. Sorry if this is taking a bit of time, but okay, so we're going to texture it. That's the main thing. So first you're going to want to create a map. Oh. Sorry. Okay. Now there is not that I applied the mirror modifier for some reason. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. I see I recovered the one where I fixed the legs. But we're just going to be using the mirror modified one because that's actually a bit easier to texture. Okay, Shift D, move to frame, panel 3 actually. Ah. Okay, sorry. I'm a bit busy with some stuff, so I'm getting a bit distracted easily. Okay, now let's actually get to the texturing. So panel 3, just pressed M, just so you know. Hide the skeleton because that's a pain. Now you want to go to edit mode, and we're gonna mark seams to UV unwrap it. Let me just split the view. We want to split the view into about... Oh, that was not intentional. I want to split the view into about no, that's... You want to split the view into about 3 panels, and then you want to make this one the node editor. Also, you want to make sure you're on cycles render, and you want to make this UV image editor. You want to make a new one. The resolution's your choice. I like having 2K resolution for the textures. It makes things look better. the higher the resolution, or more detailed at least. Of course, if you're incompetent at overall making the textures like I am, they're probably going to look bad no matter what. It's so warm. Okay, I'll just title this UV because this is going to... Now you want to make a UV map, which you do that by pressing new and setting the resolution, but then you want to go here and set it to UV grid. And you get a UV grid, and what you do with this is I'm just going to create a material and title it UV. This is just going to be a test material. So you want to set the view to materials, of course. Image texture. I want to select your UV map and then hook it up right there. And you may notice that it's just gray. That's because before you do that, you need to UV unwrap it. And as you see, it does not look good. That's because there's no seams marked. Now, seams are essentially points where it takes apart the 3D model and kind of unwraps it into a two-dimensional view for it to texture properly. It's a bit hard to understand, I guess. Okay, so let's start with the legs. Those are kind of important. So you want to just select the edges. Come on. There we go. So you just want to select the edges. Let's circle around it because you probably want to split the leg off to a separate point. Like little juts out like the legs and these back fins. Same thing with the spikes are usually the things that overall mess up the texture. If it's like a straight tube, it's pretty easy to unwrap, of course. But now if you want to mark a seam, you have to press Control E and then mark seam. Now what you want to do is, really you can kind of do it in whatever way you choose, but you just need to keep in mind that it's about breaking it apart to look flat. So you kind of just need to keep that in mind when doing this, so you can get an idea of what to mark out in order to have a really nice looking texture. Like in this case, I think I'll just Control E, mark seams there, and so now you have like a straight cube. And now what you want to do is, now that the sides are like completely thrown off of each other, you just want to click one of these on each, one of these little things, and you just Control E, mark seam. And see, in this case you have both the bottom and top sides split off from each other, and you have this one line where it splits apart, so you can just completely unwrap it. So now if I select all of everything and then unwrap, the toes should be pretty much perfect. And it'll look a bit weird, but it's more of the size of the squares than poorly done proportions. Now you probably want to, in this case, I'll just not select the whole thing. It's a bit much. 3. Oh god, I unintentionally set it back to material. I'm just gonna turn that off. Really can't select in whatever order you choose. You can just do a little bit of that. Mark seam. Just so you know, if certain parts of the unwrap don't look very good, that might not be 100% your fault, because actually little bits of unwrap on other portions of the 3D model can affect the ones on other portions. So like you may see this, you may look at the toes and notice some of the things are like a wee bit stretched. Well, that might not actually be because the toes UV unwrapping is poorly done. It might just be some other portions UV wrapping is poorly done and is somehow affecting that one. Okay, I'll do the spikes next. Okay, Control E, mark seam. Now these back fins. This is gonna be you probably just want to completely separate these from the rest of the body in the UV view. Because you can see like the body is pretty well done, but anything jutting out of the body is a bit messed up. That's because it's tubular and, well, it's more because it's not a perfect tube at all. It's like a weird cube with the faces at the end. Usually the faces at the end will be a bit messed up. Like like you can see that here. That's because that's the final face, but because the final faces are like stretched out and done differently, it makes it seem like there isn't a real face, so it kind of just perfectly does it. At least that's how I interpret it. Hmm. Okay, Control E. Like now that you probably might understand it, hopefully you do. It might be a bit complex or something. I don't really know. I tend to have a pretty good understanding of this kind of stuff. You should be able to do a decent amount of the unwrapping on your own. But if not, you can maybe just follow along with what I'm doing. Oh god. I'll just go to face select for this. Never mind about going to face select. There we go. Yeah, I forgot that face select will make you deselect your edges. Actually, I think I can... Oh yeah, I can do that. Right, now if you want to have two different types of things selected at once, you just shift and click it. Seam A U oh, I just pressed O. I don't want that on. Unwrap. Now the spikes on the head are decent, and the spikes of the neck I guess are decent as well. Now separate out this leg, which is it's a bit hard to tell where it starts because of how I created it. Oh. If this portion gets a bit messy, that's probably my fault if you followed my modeling instructions word for word, but I kind of doubt you did. Oh, wait, I don't need faces selected anymore. Now we're gonna do that. Separate the toes. Control E, mark seam. And then I just want to get one big chunk of need like a little split. Oh yeah, I should probably also do this one as well. Oh yeah, I should save actually. And this UV unwrapping is going faster than I expected. Just so you know, I already have textures selected out though I don't think I'll put them in the description. But what I will put in the description is a place where you can get textures. Learned about it from Blender Guru, I believe the channel, that's his channel name. Yeah, it's called CGtextures. It's not the best, but it's free. But if you really don't mind spending money, you could probably find a better source than CGtextures to get textures from. But you can just find textures along whatever you think this thing would be colored, whether you think it'd be scaly. I'm kind of making it scaly like a dinosaur or something. That's kind of what it is. It's not what it is at all in the lore standpoint, but that's just a headcanon. It doesn't really matter anymore, considering I probably won't use this thing in any stories or games if I ever make them. Mostly because he's not my idea, so I feel like it wouldn't be fair just to completely try to earn anything off of it. I think it's like 90 degrees outside where I am. And for some reason, whenever my air conditioner breaks, it always happens over the summer. So now I'm just sitting here doing a YouTube tutorial in like 80 something degree heat sitting on a couch. This is perfect. Know what I mean? Just like I don't know. I don't know where you guys live, so I'm not sure if you live in a very warm place, a cold place, but I'm pretty sure everywhere is at its peak heat during summertime. So I'm not sure if you guys can understand the slight pain of not having air conditioning, though I do know a lot of places, like I think Ireland's one, or very few people actually use air conditioning. And I thought about that and thought it sounded insane, but then I realized it's probably significantly colder there than it is in Texas. Okay, I think I have everything separated out. Mark seam, U, unwrap. Now I just need to, actually I'll boop. I watched Evangelion the other day for the first time. See, I watched the entire thing, and is it just me or does watching Evangelion actually just put you into a state of hypnosis in those last 2 episodes? Like, ever listen to one of those hypnosis tapes where you just kind of sit down and relax and kind of just try to go along with their instructions, but you're actually not paying any attention because you're hypnotized or whatever? Kind of felt like that. I just lost sense of consciousness. And then when I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say that I had to watch like a 20-minute video about theology, philosophy, and psychoanalysis in order to understand the ending. That's all I'll say about it. Okay, I need to silence my phone. I'm beginning to get annoyed by hearing it vibrate. Seam. Now okay, what is... Sorry about that. Just a bit annoyed. Maybe I should have heed my sister's warning when she said I should probably go out and hang out with some friends today. Oh, too late now. I don't have a license, so can't drive to anywhere. Okay, now it's fully UV unwrapped, pretty much. Kinda don't need to, like, actually should probably do a full little examination. It's probably one of the best UV unwraps I've done in a while. I just noticed a little problem. I think I'll separate out the neck and body, because I'm noticing this weird little thing where it's like has this weird split down the middle. I want to see if separating things out a tad bit will get rid of it. So on my Twitch I've been streaming Hollow Knight a lot. It's not super popular, so I don't get many views, but I really enjoy it. It's a great game. If you have like a Switch or a PC or anything you can get it on, I strongly recommend purchasing Hollow Knight. Usually in when UV unwrapping, it's not my best skill, I have to say. Usually I just do the automatic unwrap, and good thing a lot of times it works. Though for something this complex, yeah, it doesn't end very well. But I still kind of rely on that a bit too much, but this has been a bit refreshing, I guess. Doing it on my own a bit more. It's also revealed that I'm actually not terrible at it, like I thought I was. Yes, yeah, I'll probably do this as texturing, and then maybe one more video if I can ever find out, how to get some better maps. If you guys know anyone watching, if you know any methods of getting some better textures, please comment it. Please. And I just realized why, because the mirror modifier split in half, so it was easier to flatten. I'd say this is a pretty decent unwrap. Things look pretty detailed. Now you just want to probably do the same thing with the eyes, except eyes are different because of their shape, if I'm correct. So what you probably want to do is unwrap, and it's probably going to look bad. But then you can just use a special kind of unwrap. Sphere projection. And then just... oh, it's a bit wide. What if I just... voila. It's not very conventional, but it actually works pretty well. Then there's the jaws, which are definitely going to need something special. You just want to press 5 if you want to look inside your 3D models. So we're going to go into the jaw. I'm going to attach the UV. We're going to go to edit mode, unwrap. Oh, wait, I unintentionally click smart UV project. Actually, I'm going to see if using a smart UV project will work here. Because I kind of don't want to... okay, yeah, that worked great, because I kind of didn't want to do much more seam marking, because we've already been on this for a bit too long. There's also not too much to explain about it, besides, how it works, how you choose to mark seams. So, it's not too hard to get an understanding of. It's more of an experience thing. Okay, now we're going to get the actual texturing. Okay, so you want to go to this node editor. You want to add a new material. You probably want to make a new texture while you're at it. I think I'll only texture the body for now. And I just realized something. Never mind. New material. You probably want to add a new texture. And make sure you set it to blank instead of UV grid. Like, what color? What color would be nice? I'll just stick with black. Shift A, then you want to go to texture, image. Oh, that's magic. Shift A, image texture. And you want to hook those up, and voila. Well, actually, there's a little something else you probably want to do. You want to go to, I believe it's, I haven't used this thing in a while. You want to go to shaders. I believe it's in here. And you want to do principled.bsdf. Or not dot. Well, see, here's, before we choose this, I'd like to let you guys know that this is the ultimate node. In every single way. And you're about to see why. Boop. You see, they added this. I think I think it's the version I'm on currently. It's literally a node that does everything that has to do with photorealism, and you just literally hook up images to it to map it out. Like, it even has a normal, a clear coat normal, a tangent. It has all this cool stuff, even as metallic, which, yeah, you can, which are used for metal maps. Subsurfaces, for I think those are used for, you know, overlaying textures, if you ever want to do that. Now you do that, and you see it gets a little shine. You don't, like, you know, you used to have to do this if you wanted a very well done photorealism thing. You'd have to do this large, complex thing of different separate nodes that you'd literally be on a 30-minute YouTube tutorial for like 5 hours just to complete, like I did one time. And yeah, it used to be very complex, but then they added it. They added the Fresnel effect, so I didn't need to, you know, search through all these special textures and nodes and all this stuff to figure out how to create a photorealistic texture. Okay, but that's enough of that. Now what we want to do is go to texture paint, and then T to take out the tools. Probably want to make these smaller because they're not going to be as important. And you want to go to texture, and before at this section, you're probably going to want to go to CGtextures, which I'll put a link in the description for. In order to need to drink some water. In order to get textures that you think would look good on the sky, you can maybe find an iris for the eyeball, or maybe find a fleshy texture like and a bone or teeth-like texture for the jaws and the side of the mouth. But for now, we're just gonna do some basic texturing. If you want to know how to do maps, I'll also put a link in the description to a video by a Blender Guru, who I believe, it might not, he tells you how to make certain textures. Of course, some of the things he says are a bit redundant now because of the principled shader, but it's probably the best thing I can give you that doesn't involve Crazy Bump or something like that, because Crazy Bump costs like $50 now. It used to be free. Or at least the demo used to be free, and it used to be what I used to get these really good, realistic-looking textures, but ever since then I couldn't. Ever since I made it no longer free, I couldn't use it. Alright, so you want to make sure you're in this texture point. You want to do brush texture. Then you want to open it from a file, and I'll just search for it somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Is it here? No. Oh, right, it was in old files. Profile texture. Wrong thing. No. Sorry about this, is taking a bit. believe these are textures I can use. So let's just go with the scale texture I found. Looks a bit weird, in my opinion. There's something I like about this is that you can actually mix other colors with it. So if you want to give them a bit of a blue tint, you can kind of do that, but you probably want to like, it looks a bit overlaid. Okay, looks a, if I could find a way to make that, maybe if I'm gonna test some stuff out with brushes real quick. That creates a very dark blue shade. What about, not darken, overlay? I want to see what some of this stuff does. I haven't really tested too much with the brushes. Color dodge. It's like a very icy looking texture. Subtract. Yeah, subtract just gets rid of it. Oh, but the parts I overlaid aren't gotten rid of completely. Okay, but now that I'm done with that, I probably just want to set everything back to normal and just color. Oh, right, it's because it's on subtract. Just mix. Now just do all that. Hold up, that wasn't supposed to color the eye. Oh wait, no, it didn't color the eye, it just looked like it did. Now you probably want to try keeping yourself at a certain view distance from the 3D model, because how you're looking at it actually affects the size or detail of the texture. Like, see, if you color like this, you know, everything looks pretty similar, but if you go zoom in, you see it is like based off of your view. There's probably a way to change that, but I've yet to find it. So yeah, that's just a really, it looks very bad right now, but that's because and it's probably going to look bad at the end since I don't have all the maps. But that's besides the point. Now you probably want to color like the toes, something a bit more nail-like. Like I got this like this texture, this bone texture. Because you know nails are kind of like bone, I guess. At least these ones are. And for this, I remember I just gave it a shade of blue for these spikes on top. And, yeah. There's a lot of just, like, something I found out with my, Typhon, which is in my, channel thing. Something I figured out with Typhon, so that's what I call them, is that I can kind of mix textures together. We're not going to really be doing that because it's a bit complex. A bit difficult to do for me. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit complex and difficult. Well, not really difficult. It's more of tedious. This is kind of on, I kind of want to keep these tutorials relatively small. So I don't waste time, which is why I keeps apologizing for doing something random, although you guys probably don't really care. Sudden silence. That was very awkward. I feel ashamed of myself for that. Okay. Now, if you want to know about fusing textures, if you want to know more of, oh, come on. If you want to know a bit more of what I mean by that, like if you want to have like a transference of nail, you could take the textures to this, and then you can weaken the power, and then it will kind of blend in a tad bit. You can maybe like make, instead of the toes being just entirely, you know, bone, you can kind of make a bit transference towards that. Though that wouldn't really make sense in this standpoint because it scales and bone, those things kind of separate out pretty badly. But also you probably want to turn on symmetry in the x-axis. I should have done that at the beginning. Oh. But yeah, in Typhon, where he's like a bunch of different things, Like he has snakes on him, he has dragons on him, so many separate things. Yeah, you're going to need to work on creating a transference between certain points and textures, because that's how it would realistically be. You don't just, like, your skin tone doesn't just go from white to tan. You at least see a slight transference from that on a tan line. So this texture isn't complete at all. But let me see, how long has this been recording for? Oh, I don't know. Well then, it's probably been like an hour or something. Maybe 40 minutes. So I think I'll just do the basic separation, and I don't really have textures for the mouth actually. Well, I have some, but they're not actually made for this 3D model. They're made for some other ones. So I'm just gonna color these last toes and call it a tutorial, I guess. And then if I ever find out another method of getting more advanced textures that doesn't involve just, going to a place and taking time to... as long as it doesn't involve like Photoshop or anything, because I'm not super great at Photoshop or GIMP, which is, I kind of just use GIMP because it's free. And I'm a pretty cheap artist, I guess. Though actually I do think I might buy a thing of Crazy Bump. Just because I'm working on a human character, which I'm terrible at humans because I'm not super great at sculpting. Opposed to more professional people. I haven't really had as much experience with it as I had with other things, such as modeling and texturing. Oh crap. So I'm not really as good as it, which is why I didn't sculpt this 3D model either. Because I'm like, I'm probably not professional enough to teach people how to sculpt. Could probably teach like super basic stuff, but probably nothing that would help very much with a 3D model like this one. Alright, and I forgot one little detail. Where is it? He has that little arrow thing. I forgot about it. Yeah, you probably want to use the reference image in this little portion as well. And now I kind of would imagine it to be a very slight shade of blue. Boop. Boop. Beautiful. Okay, let me actually try to... I'm not very good at drawing, but I think that's about right. Alright, he also has a belly line, which I don't think I actually have a texture for that. Pretty sure my original version did actually have a slightly different texture on it. Let me go to old files. Yeah, it doesn't look like I had anything special about for that. Oh, now we got the basic texture done. It's too basic. Like, I recommend you maybe paint a bit more. It shouldn't take too long, actually. And if there's like little spots that for some reason you can't texture, you can go into here. This is a really painful way of texturing, but luckily it's usually just for those final little details. You can go into here, you can set this from view to paint mode, and then you can actually set it to these, and you can, and then you can just paint from inside the actual texture. That's for very precise work though, which this thing is using like 2 textures so far, so don't really need it. And Yeah, I think I'll call it a wrap for today. So this is how I've shown you how to 3D model, rig, and texture a dinosaur thingy. I believe... No, this isn't the rigged version. And I didn't think that far. Well, you know what? Note to self: try to use a fully try to use the fully rigged version and applied mirror modifier version before you texture. Like I think last tutorial with the rigging, I showed off how the mirror modifier will always keep both sides the same, like that. But this thing is supposed to control this. We need to apply the mirror modifier, of course. Okay, but I'm making this last a bit longer than it needs to. Oh, I'm so sweaty. If you were helped, then please like or comment. If you have any questions, of course, you should probably comment. Please, if you have any way of helping me, then that would be really nice. Also, if you're interested in streaming, because I do stream from time to time, check out my streaming, my Twitch channel, Jetfighter711. I might stream something today. I'm not actually sure if I will or not. And thanks for watching. Oh wait, I almost clicked start streaming. Stop recording.